Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with a very important and special video to me because I have been wanting this figure ever since not only the show came out, but since that render came out for this figure, what was it, 7-8 months ago? And the fact that it is finally in my hands is very surreal to me. Of course, I'm coming to you with a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Moonknight. Now this figure is absolutely phenomenal, and I have so much to say. I'm so happy to finally have this. It's kind of surreal because I waited so long for this wave, and I mean, I have all of them except for Kate Bishop, granted, but I've essentially built Infinity Ultron. This is a double She-Hulk leg because I managed to get a second one because I'm trading the other one with my friend because one of them had a weird defect on it. But regardless, this is the Moonknight figure from the Infinity Ultron wave, and I have so much to say, so without further ado, let's get into Moonknight's review. So besides Moonknight and his accessories, the only other thing we have to go over is the box. Now, it is the final wave with the plastic packaging, sadly, but it is a great wave to finish off with. You can see the rest of the wave. I'm going to try to do it in order. I do need to get her, though, if I want to get to do those other two. But you know me, I'm just so picky. I can do those other two. What am I talking about? I just, I like the order. I like having all my videos nicely ordered in the archives. But regardless, the bio reads, Moonknight, clad in the ceremonial armor of Khonshu's chosen warriors throughout the centuries, Mark Spector is Moonknight, sworn to obey Khonshu and deliver his vengeance accordingly. That is a very sick bio. Also, with the plastic free packaging, we lose the bios, which is kind of sad, but cool stuff all around the box. And the moon logo right there, the Moonknight logo, is also on the back, which is really cool backdrop, which I'm sure you guys could find a use for. I'm just going to take this off. Now, the figure itself is absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's worth the wait, but at the same time, because I've waited so long, I've also had time to think of what this figure could be like in my hands, and now I finally have it. I think it does live up to my expectations, but I do think there is a few nitpicks that I would like to get off kind of at the beginning of the video. The first thing is I don't really like this cape. I know it's like plastic capes, and I know Hasbro is famous for doing these. They rarely, if not ever, do soft goods, which I would like them to do, but I doubt that'll happen. This cape just, not only is it like kind of shaped in this one way, but it also kind of, I don't know, it just makes the head movement not like only weaker, but it just makes the head come off very easily. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but like something about it, I don't know, that might just be me. And then the other thing is, I think the only other thing on this figure that is a little off is maybe the head sculpt. I don't know if that perfectly represents Moonknight from the show. I don't know what it is. There's just something here that's not perfectly catching, but I do think it is a great head sculpt nonetheless. I'm just, trying to be picky because you keep in mind, I have been waiting for this figure for like 7-8 months now, and, signature picky Jagger collector, but I'm not saying anything bad about this figure because I absolutely love this thing. Now, his accessories that he is included with are a pair of fists, which is great to get. Actually, also a closer look at those. The detail on these are absolutely phenomenal, and throughout, I definitely think this figure would benefit from a black wash or something like that. And then his moon accessory, Psych Moon Accessories, because you can take it apart, which is very, very cool, because I remember when it was revealed, I was kind of like, I kind of wish it came with two, but I guess the plan all along was that he was going to come with two. So you can just put them in his hands and do it at a certain angle so it looks good, because if you do it this way, then it does look a little weird, but they are very cool accessories for him to be included with nonetheless. Now, back to the cape thing that I was talking about. I was thinking, because I love Moonknight, the show, and the character and the figure so much, I think this would be a figure in which I would think of getting a second one to do a custom with. And when I say that, I just think this sculpt is so phenomenal. The detail that they put into this is amazing, and I think it would really benefit from a black wash or something along that lines. Just some extra paint detail to bring out all this sculpt, because this is a phenomenal sculpt. Like, just take a quick look at that. It is amazing, and I have seen some people with these cool like soft goods bendy wire capes, and I would really like to try that with him, because when you don't have the cape on, the head just goes in all sorts of directions, and it definitely stays on there better, because I don't know why it stays on there better. I don't know if the cape just like pushes it up a bit, or I don't know if it's just me. But regardless, there is a little peg on the back of his back that you can put the cape into, which is good to get. And I would really wish that we would have got a Oscar Isaac head sculpt, but I'm sure we'll get one eventually. I will buy 10 of this figure, keep remaking it. I shouldn't say that. I'm giving them ideas, but I love Moon Knight. I love everything about Moon Knight. But back to the figure, I just want to take a close look at this sculpt because, like, I could just show this to you guys for an hour and it probably still wouldn't do it justice because they really did go all out for this figure. Now, I know some people were saying it's not 100% accurate, and I can definitely maybe see that with the head, but I was looking at like a few stills and a few pictures and posters of the actual Moon Knight costume from the show, and it is very similar. I couldn't really find the inaccuracies, and all these little details throughout the legs, I don't know exactly what they're called, hieroglyphics maybe, not too well versed and all that, but they were very similar, if not the exact same, to the outfit on the show, which is very good to get. And then you go around the sculpt here. Like, this is what I mean. Like, you see the sculpt on this figure, and it's great here. Like, it's a great figure, but I just think it could be even better with just some customization, a little bit of black wash. And I am not really a customizer. I rarely do that, but I definitely think this might be a figure to consider that with, for sure. Now, the head is stuck in there. You can't take it out, but you can kind of see the paint inside of it. It is kind of like a dark gray that they went with, which is cool. But all the gold details throughout are very good. And I did have the luxury of looking through multiples of these at GameStop. They had a whole bunch in, and I was like, I guess I was the first one in, so they said, pick yours, pick the one you want. And there's like 6, and they all look pretty good, but this one I think just came out very well. I know some people had some problem with the paint. This is the good thing with plastic packaging, is you can see what it looks like, and oh boy did I. And I think I lucked out because I think this figure looks very, very good. All the gold detail throughout looks very good in my opinion. But yeah, just let me know what you think of this whole sculpt, just because I know Moon Knight is a very popular character right now, and I know a lot of people are going to want this figure. I just want to know what you guys really think. I know I should probably say this at the end of the video, but just really give me your thoughts on this figure. Is it as good as you think? Does it represent the character well, or is there some things they could have done better? Regardless, I'm pretty sure that's all I have to say about the sculpt. I like the little moons on his knees, which are great. Regardless, yeah, that's probably everything I have to say about the sculpt. I don't think there's too much more to go over. So I think the only thing to do now is the articulation, comparisons, and then final thoughts. So let's get into his articulation. So for articulation, it is fairly good. I do think you could have benefited from butterfly joints, but hey, I say that with all the figures. Now, the cape definitely does hinder it, like I was kind of mentioning, so you can't really get his head to look up that much. It is on a dumbbell joint, but it does go down a lot, side, full 360. So you do get a decent amount of movement there. That's very good for Moon Knight. And then the arms go out that much. I don't like that. Goes out that much, down, full 360, bicep swivel, double jointed, beautiful pinless elbows, which look great. Now, the open hands or the gripping hands are on the vertical hinge, so they go up, down, full 360. And then, you know what? Let's just quickly, one moment, please. Just put these fists on because, you know, I don't know, something about just having them with the fists looks great as well. Now, these fists are on the horizontal hinge, so they go up and down, full 360, as opposed to the vertical hinge. Now, the ab crunch doesn't go down that much forward, which isn't the greatest, but actually it's not great at all, but I think it works. I mean, I would say this isn't a figure that you would need to get all those poses in, but it kind of is for sure. Back a lot. There is a little bit of a cut here at the waist. I don't know if that's a joint. It kind of does move. I was noticing that. So, oh, interesting. I don't know if that's intentional, but I just made it intentional. Full 360. Legs kick forward that much. Back, this gets in the way. Splits, upper thigh cut. Beautiful double jointed pinless knees, which look great. And then the ankle movement is very good on the figure. It goes up that much, which is great. back, and ankle rocker pivot. So fairly good articulation on the Moon Knight. I do think the ab crunch could have been a little better. I think the head movement's good, just the cape kind of gets in the way, and I do think butterfly joints would have done wonders for this figure. I honestly know that I know the Hawkeye figures need it, but I would have preferred this guy to have the butterfly joint, in my opinion, if I had to choose. But hey, maybe in the future we'll get a new sculpt, but we just got this, so let's enjoy this for the meantime. But let's get on to some comparisons, which I have a lot of. So here we have the Moon Knight figure next to the Mr. Knight from the same wave. I did get this figure about like 5 days ago, but I didn't want to do the review for it because I wanted to compare it to the Moon Knight and vice versa. So now we have them here so we can compare them. And another avatar of a god, Black Panther. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, under a month away. I'm very excited for that. And then the new Captain America, because I think there was a leak or something that he could be involved in Captain America 4. I don't know if that still could be true, but we'll see. And then there is the Iron Man Endgame figure. And then here we have, shame on me, guys, but here we have the comic Moon Knight with a broken arm. It fell off. But you know what? It's not a problem because they are copy and pasting this figure, and it will be out probably before the end of the year. So I guess I'm good on that department. Stand there, buddy. And then here we have another figure from the wave, the She-Hulk, which is a phenomenal figure. I think that might be my favorite of the wave. Review for all of those coming soon. Infinity Ultron, you're wondering why I have the leg. This is just 2 of the She-Hulk legs because I ended up with 2 She-Hulks because one of them had a big forehead, and I am selling the other one to my friend for a discount price because I really wanted to have a really good She-Hulk and not have the big forehead. We'll get into that in the review for her, which should be out this week. And then we have Doctor Strange. Could be some Midnight Suns material here. And Spider-Man. But other than that, that is all the comparisons. Now it is the sacred final thoughts time. So my final thoughts on the Moon Knight figure is, I want to be honest with you guys, especially because I have, I've been wanting this figure and expecting all these certain things from it for over 7-8 months. I think it was revealed late March, early April, so it has been definitely a long time. So I've had a lot of time to kind of pickle / ferment in my expectations. That's a weird way of describing it, but I just did that. And I do think some things on it are a little bit of a letdown, but I do think that is very minimal compared to all the good on the figure. I think the main things that I'm a little bit let down by is some of the articulation, I guess, and maybe the head sculpt and the cape, but that was kind of expected. I don't know what I expected from that, but I do actually kind of, when you fidget with the cape a bit, just play around with it, you can kind of get some cool poses. This is a figure in which it is stiff in some ways, but you can get some very cool shots like, oh, that looks very, very cool. But yes, regardless, if you want a Moon Knight figure from the show, I definitely recommend this figure. It's not perfect by any means, but hey, not a lot of action figures are. And I definitely would recommend this to you, and I don't think you would be disappointed. So overall, I think I'm going to have to give this figure a 9 out of 10. Very, very good. Very happy to finally have this in my collection. Just very surreal to me because I've been wanting this wave for so long, especially how long has it been? Like, because those Hawkeye figures were revealed in like, what, December? So it's been almost a year for this wave. So yeah, I hope you can understand my hype for this wave. I've been really, really wanting this wave, and now that I have it, it's very good. But please let me know what you think of this figure in the comments below. I will have a whole bunch of reviews coming out this week. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. But until then, this has been Conchu's Avatar. Very excited for that figure. Regardless, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.